All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Angry Asian Uncle podcast. I am Reynold. Sorry, my co host Vic is on vacation today, at least for this episode. But we have Jeff. So say hi, Jeff.
Hey, good morning.
All right. So Jeff is our guest for today, and I'll have him do a little intro about himself.
Hi, great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on this morning. It's a wonderful Friday, so I hope everybody's enjoying their day. My name is Jeff Solomons. I am the owner of a website called cemeteryplotlistings.com. You can see it behind me. Basically, it's a website that allows people to buy and sell their cemetery plots. A lot of people get stuck with cemetery plots. Sometimes it's usually during circumstances. Sometimes people will get married and they'll live in, let's say, New York. They'll buy plots. They think they're going to stay there forever. And then they retire and move to Florida and they're stuck with these plots and they don't know what to do with them. There are other circumstances. Sometimes people inherit them. Other times people will unfortunately get divorced or just retire to a different city. So there's a lot of reasons that people end up with a cemetery plot that they thought they were going to use but don't end up using. And that's what our website is for, to try to help them get them sold.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. That sounds great. So I'm just curious, how did you come up with this idea or this niche? Was it something you were already like in the industry or based on your
Yeah,
work, or was it like just something you came across? Like,
Yeah, so I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm always looking on the internet for unusual types of businesses. Like we've all seen that business where you can mail a potato to somebody. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
oh,
so I really
that's
I
a
gravitate to unusual businesses like that, and I was trying to come up with a business that I can start up and pass along to my son. So I've got a an autistic son who's
okay.
got his own life plans set. He's currently in college. He's going to be hopefully doing some computer programming. But
Good for
I
him.
worry about him like we all worry about our kids,
Of
and
course, of course.
it's a little bit more challenging for our kids. And I wanted to come up with something that I can start up that could be beneficial to people, but also that I would be able to pass on to my son. This way, he'd have some kind of a form of income. And so I was doing some research and I came across an article about people who are stuck with cemetery plots and they were trying to sell them. And I thought that's an interesting outlet. I've never heard of that before. Who thinks of that, right?
Right, exactly. Right.
So I did a little more research. I found a couple of websites that were doing something similar to what we're doing, but they're not doing a great job. Either their websites are outdated or they're not providing good customer service, whatever the case. So I decided to basically try and build a better mousetrap. So that's how it all started.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I can relate to what you're saying about trying to create something for your son who's autistic, because my son's on the spectrum too. So I worry about that. But he's still at a young age. He's still in elementary school age. So, but yeah, we do worry. And it's
Yeah.
and then as of the business itself, yeah, that's pretty creative. I think of it as because in Chinese culture, even here, I live in California here, so there's a um, large population of Chinese people. And when it comes to cemetery or grave plots here, um, some of us, based on tradition, in one of our past, actually the episode that we recorded recently, it was talking about Chinese culture uh, where we would have a month or where it's called tomb sweeping. So where we would go and clean up the tomb area or wherever grave site of our ancestors,
Okay.
and it's and for us Chinese, it's even in death when it comes to like grave sites, it's it's still it's still considered real estate and there's still value to it. So we were saying prime real estate is the ones that are easy to get into, have good like a lot of good services or something like on-site services where they help you maintain the grave slot, and then you have the ones that are what I call the nosebleed section, right? You're up in nowhere. No one really takes. There's no groundskeeper or anything. No one really take care. So even in death, I feel like in the Chinese where we view grave sites as another form of real estate, and some people would probably take your idea, think of it, or take your website as an idea to say profit from it because where your idea came from trying to alleviate someone that stuck with a gravesite by inheritance or just probably due to financial hardship, they're trying to need to offload it. Where for I seen in over here where the Chinese would buy more than what they need, say because they know land is finite, so they would take so they buy enough for their family, and maybe they'll buy a couple extra plots because
Hmm.
they feel like this is prime spot, and then people eventually, because there's one of the things guaranteed in life is death, right? So people will pass, people will need a grave a grave site, and then they sell it for maybe 3 times 10 times whatever they paid for. Of course it's not overnight, but they may sit on it for a few years or 10 years. But that's, other than the regular real estate buying a house and everything, this is what they do too. So do you think your website might have people that want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, when it comes to a cemetery plot, it's the last piece of real estate you're ever going to own, right?
Right.
It's your resting place. Our site is a terrific site for since we do have a lot of people who are listing their plots up there, and they definitely are not planning on using it. They want to unload them. They want to sell them. No one wants to be burdened with something that they're not going to have any use for. Almost like a yard sale, right? We all go to yard
Right.
sales. We buy everyone else's junk. But it's
Yes.
useful to us. And
Oh yeah.
so, yeah, and so people will come to our website who are looking for a plot or a couple of plots, and they get them at a good price because, like I said, they just want to move away from that situation and be done with it. And that's
Yes.
having closure for them, but it's also providing, a resting spot, hopefully, for somebody who's in need of it.
That's
So
true.
yeah, and what's great about our website is it's kind of a two-way street. We're there to help people who are trying to sell their plots, but we also provide great discounts for people who are buying them.
That's true. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
just like in real estate, well, I guess this still, I mean, when it comes to the regular property real estate that we think of, there's people that come into financial hardship and they just can't afford a mortgage anymore and they just need to short sell or foreclose,
unload. Yeah,
unload, right? And just get back to so that they can live again, right? And then there's people that have the financials, sit on a property, uh, and then reap the benefits, as
yeah,
the equity
yeah.
goes up, right? So
If
I
you
guess
can
there's
afford
both
to.
nature. Yes, exactly,
Yeah, yeah. Not
exactly.
everybody can sit on it. I mean, look,
Yes, that's true.
selling plots. It's we've started in February, so we're a fairly new website. But we've gotten over 100 people who are clients of ours already who are trying to sell their plots, and it is a challenging business, because you have to
Right,
find the people who are buying. That's
exactly.
really our goal is to find buyers for these people, and that's what they
Right.
signed up for, and we want to provide it. And so it's a challenge, but we've been doing all right. We're getting a lot of people interested. I know a lot of our clients are, even though they haven't sold their plot yet, they're having a lot of visitors come to their plot ad and seeing
Yes,
what they have to offer. So that's a really good start. And
yes.
we've been doing a lot of marketing. We did a TV interview. So we're really kind of getting the word out as much as we can, and your show will help us as well.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Well, we'll do what we can, and then pass it along to our audience. but yes, I think is definitely a good idea. I think nowadays it's those niche ideas that are really gaining traction because all the big ideas are just taken by the big corporate. I think
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
small niche ideas that's gonna really um, is is where the what I call the small business owners can really thrive at.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that's what we're trying to do. That's why I had said that, I'm attracted to unusual ideas. I don't want to be the next guy who sells a hamburger, right?
right,
Everybody sells hamburgers today.
right,
And
or
like you
yeah,
said,
exactly.
I don't want to compete with that.
Right. For me, I know in my news feeds for a while, for the last year or two, I don't know why, but I guess because I'm an entrepreneurial spirit at heart too. So, but my news feed has been filled with selling like real estate, being a wholesaler, investing in real estate. I don't know, crypto or I don't know, day trading. It's just, and then so I that's all I see on my news feeds, the Facebook news feeds. So I don't, you know, I guess, but those are, it's really saturated stuff. So, or Amazon. I remember before I was doing, um, this is right before the COVID hit. I was getting into Amazon selling, and then, I had an Amazon resale store. So I was doing that. And then, but for somehow I think and then during the pandemic I was trying to sell masks and then I overbought the masks because they started regulating a really like
Mm-hmm.
everyone yeah
I had a friend that
uh
did the same thing. Yeah.
exactly yep they regulated and then I couldn't offload my stuff so I had to like basically man I had to just try to off liquidate it basically because I was storing it in a warehouse and I just couldn't like I I couldn't continue storing it because the Amazon wasn't letting me sell it because it was so saturated. And then
Yeah.
that sort of turned me off to the whole thing. I was like, where Amazon's such a uh, big big guy, big company that
Yeah.
they can say no, you can't sell that, and then your business out of business. So it felt like
Yeah.
man, right? It's sort of I'm not in control anymore they're in control. If if they say, "Hey, your product, I don't want you to sell this on my website," then I'm out of business. But where your great plot, is your own site, and I like it because you dictate. It's not Amazon saying, "Can you sell this?"
Hmm.
You dictate, like, "Can you sell this?" Right? So that's what I like about what you're doing, especially I think it's honorable too. That's you're not only doing it for yourself, but for your son too because everyone wants to leave a legacy, right? Leave something for the
Yeah.
kid, and I feel that's very honorable of you to think of this business that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but
I've
just
earned my gray
curious,
hair.
but just curious. You said you liked a lot of different business ideas. Can you go over some things that you've done in the past? Whether
Yeah.
successful or not, like some ideas that you tried out because
Yeah,
yeah
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and as you mentioned, as entrepreneurial individuals, we're always trying to hit that mark, and the mark is
exactly
always moving, right?
right
And so you throw in the darts, and you're hoping for the best, and so yeah, some of the things that I've done in the past, I've invented a couple of products.
oh wow
I
okay
my first invention was during the millennium, during 1999.
uh-huh.
Dating myself now. And, everybody was looking at the new millennium, right? We're all thinking
right
about Y2K. I don't know how
oh I
old
remember
your
that too
viewers are, but,
yes
we're all worried about 2000 and what's going to happen. And I kept thinking,
right
nobody's looking back at the past. We're all going to lose a century that will never come back. And
right
so I invented something called 20th Century Air in a Can.
oh wow
So
okay
this was it was a silly idea. It was a spoof idea
okay
and a novelty, if you will. I know I have the can here somewhere. I'll have to find it. But basically, it was exactly what it sounds like. It was something for you to remember the 20th century. It had a
Okay.
nice label on it, and it said, you're taking a blast to the past.
Oh, nice
And
catchphrase.
yeah, and so we did okay with them. We sold them for a lot of New Year's Eve parties because they were looking for giveaways. So that was a
Right.
nice hit. But I've done a couple of I've invented a few products. I mentioned earlier I had written a child's book, which
Yeah.
is on Amazon as well. But again, that book, the driving force behind it was my son, who told me that I couldn't be an author. I
Oh,
was trying
okay.
to explain to him that you could be anything you want. You have to put your mind to it. You have to put the work in and do the research. And he didn't believe me. And so
Hmm.
I ended up writing a book called The Gingerbread Man. And so it's a
Nice.
children's book. It's a spin on the gingerbread man. And I get like $1.50 a year. It wasn't about the money. It was really more about proving that you can do what you want. And you have in my son's case and in your son's case, they have their lives ahead of them.
Exactly.
And don't let anything limit you. Never let somebody tell you you can't.
Yes, that's
Um,
definitely a good message. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I've dabbled a little bit here and there in different types of ventures, because I love, like you mentioned, I like being in control.
Right.
I don't necessarily like answering to bosses. I do, but it's not my favorite thing. I think we all like to just we feel like we're most productive when we don't have to answer to people and we just go out and we do our thing.
That's
Even
true.
though,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it drives
Little
my wife
freedom.
crazy. I'll
Right.
come to her with a new idea and she'll give me the classic wife eye roll. Um, and
Those are the real bosses, right? The wives are the real bosses.
yeah, my wife is definitely the boy. In my house, it goes my wife, my son, my cat, and then me.
Right?
So,
That's sounds similar. That sounds very
yeah,
familiar.
but I accept it. I accept
Right.
our role. We all accept our roles,
Right.
and it all works out in the end. So, yeah, I've done
That's
a
great.
number of different types of things, and I've tried a number of different kinds of businesses that a lot of them I've created just out of my mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I definitely love hearing that because yeah, some people I feel there's such lack of creativity. I feel as we get as time moves on, I feel in more recent years. Even I was also saying with Vic, there's so much rebooting of old stuff. Like
There's a
so,
ton of it, right?
yeah,
See, you
yeah,
think the way I think, that people aren't creative anymore.
yes, and
They're
it's
not
just
creative.
yeah, they're just taking the old stuff. So I feel like all the creative stuff was in the past, and then they're just taking that same idea and just like slapping a new paint job on it and then
Yeah.
releasing it. That's it.
Yeah. But I guess the idea behind it is there's a whole generation of people who didn't even know
Right.
that was like that original movie. Like I'm trying to think of a movie or a song even. Sometimes we'll hear a remake of a song and people will
Right.
think it's
Yes.
the original.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
and not too long ago, I had to explain to somebody that um, the Elvis song "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You," the slow song.
Uh-huh.
UB40 did a remake of it, and
Oh,
she said, "I love this original song by UB40." And I said that's an Elvis song, and she didn't know who Elvis was, which was horribly shocking to me. But
right.
yeah, there's a whole population who, and I guess that's what they're gambling on them not knowing or seeing that original movie. But I agree,
Yes.
there's not enough creativity and uniqueness
That's yeah.
in the world. Everybody is just busy copying one another, and that seems just
Yeah.
uncreative and un.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's yeah, we need to help change that, right? So so I guess it's great that you I mean um I feel like that even your children's book, the Ninja Gingerbread Man, I feel it's almost like a spin-off of the Shrek Gingerbread Man, right? It's like a
Oh, you don't know the
spin-off.
Gingerbread Man? It's a classic kid
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
kid book.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes, yeah.
so
But I
it's a
know, but
classic.
yeah, yeah, but um, but grown. I think growing up, even just watching the Shrek, it was they had the gingerbread man in Shrek, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They have him doing some crazy stuff. So it feels like, but I love it how you're saying, your kid, your son, is a motivating factor. I feel for me the same way. It's a motivating factor when, you know, whatever it is, whether they're, um, is autistic or not. I think our all of our children are sort of a motivating factor for us to do better.
absolutely.
For me, even for me, I was just trying to. So my primary business, I was doing, I still do a little of it, is vending, because in the state of California, actually in every state, there's sort of there's a program, and it's for the visually impaired, well, which I am. So there's a program, a government program that helps you get in contracts for vending services in different government buildings. So that's how I got started. But with that, I'll try to dabble into different businesses that sort of revolve around delivery and servicing. I try to distribute, at a route distributing the Little Debbie products.
Mm,
Um, uh, and actually the main area was San Francisco, and that was actually hard. I learned that even though it's high volume, it's very low margins because you're selling to a store, almost like wholesale, and then so that
right.
they can in return resell it for a profit. So it's all about volume, and then I also try to do like pool cleaning service because we're already
What is it?
running around pool, like cleaning pools, pool
Oh, pool
service,
cleaning. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
like swimming pools, yeah. So I thought that was something because I already had the vehicles, I had the vans, and then I thought it was easy just in addition to servicing the vending machines, just stop at people's houses to clean their pools too. The cleaning part is the easy part. It's actually because they expect you to also troubleshoot their, what
Broken
is it? The
filters and stuff.
filters, yeah, their the motors, the cleaning, like the cleaning, uh,
They
lots of
think you know
train
it
of thought.
all.
Yeah, exactly. And we all,
Yep.
and my guys only know how to. I mean, I know how to fix a vending machine, but I did not know how to fix their motors. So,
Uh-huh.
so we lost a lot of accounts because they're like, "Oh, you clean the pool, so you must know how to everything about pools." But that's actually
They,
there's actually
yeah,
a technician, just like a house cleaner, right? Cleans the house, but yet they don't know how to repair your AC, right? You would call the
right.
AC person, but I guess that's such a small market that there are a lot of pool cleaners that do both, that know how to do both.
Sure.
I think so. That sort of makes them more valuable. That they can not only clean your pool but fix your motor. But just
Do you
like if
still
you
do
have
the
a
pool cleaning?
no, I had it sold. I sold it because my guys just we were getting too many complaints that we couldn't take uh like
Do more than just the cleaning?
yeah, do more than just a clean, like fix the,
Right.
like you're saying, fix the filter, fix the pumps and stuff like that. I was
People,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
they expect you to do that. I had mentioned that I do a lot of astronomy and I do astrophotography. So I take pictures of planets and nebulas and galaxies. And when
yes,
people see me with my telescope outside, they love to
mm,
come by, and I'm happy to let them look at planets, the moon, whatever. But then they think, like you said, they think I know everything about astronomy, and they'll start
right,
asking me space questions. And I don't, I either have to A, make up a lie that sounds like
right,
the answer, or B, I
yes,
just tell them I don't use it. I tell them I don't know if I don't know.
right,
But it's always funny that people just they see me with a telescope and they think I'm Mr. Science with the astronomy, and I'm really not. I'm out there to take pictures and do my thing. But it's funny how people always assume, I guess.
yeah,
So
yeah. There's a lot of assumption in this world, but we can't control what they think. At least they're at least they weren't paying for your service. So when I'm doing a pool clean, they were paying me for a service,
Yeah,
but I was charging lower because I'm only cleaning, and anytime they need like other type of mechanical service, then I refer it out. But even
right.
then, it's like, oh, they tie it together. Everyone likes to tie things together. Like, oh, just because you
Yeah.
don't know how
They
to
want
do
one-stop
this.
shop.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But you know what?
um,
You're out there. You're doing what I'm doing. We're
yeah,
out there swinging the bat. I always tell my wife, you can't win the game if you don't swing the bat.
exactly. You win some, you lose some, right? You
And you
can't win
will.
them all.
And
Yeah.
and you know what? You learn from it. You learn as much as
Yes.
you don't want to fail. And I've as the agent in the Jerry Maguire movie said, I've probably failed as much as I've had success.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
but you
Actually, I
learn from
failed
it.
more than I have the success, actually.
Oh, you don't want that.
But I think with but you have to take it. Every failure is a way to learn, so that you get
Yeah,
better at what you do, whether it's business, relationship, or raising your kids. You can't and sometimes it's just neutral, right? It's not a good. It's not. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just a learning process. So if we
yeah.
could take that into perspective, I think you'll be okay in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned that you do vending.
Yes.
So I that's one of the businesses that I tried on my end as well. So I
Okay.
I thought of a vending business similar to what you're describing. I wanted to buy one originally, but they often want, a lot of money for their routes.
Yes, yes,
People who have
especially a
built
good
up a
route. Yeah.
route. Yeah.
Yes.
So what I decided to do was I made some calls in the area and I found a company that was a manufacturer of crumb cakes.
Oh,
So
okay.
they make different style crumb cakes, chocolate and vanilla and what have you. And
Yeah.
I went in and spoke with the owner and I told them I was looking to start my own route and I wanted to use their crumb cakes. And even though they already had people who had their own routes, they were open to me trying. And I actually was able to build up a small route in my neighborhood.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, where I mean, it was a good crumb cake, so I was happy it
Yes.
tasted good. People liked it. And
Hmm.
I was able to sell it at a price where they were able to make money and I was still able to make some money. So
Yes.
that was actually a really pretty good business venture. It was a lot of work. It
Yes.
was a lot of hustling from
Yes.
store to store and getting the sales, which I didn't mind, but that was a good worthwhile venture.
Yes.
I,
I'm
I
glad
like I
you.
said, I love to create my own.
Right. But I'm glad. Yeah, I think the key point there was you got to hustle. Everything when it comes to business, you just got to hustle.
Yeah.
Things might work out, things might not work out, but if you're not willing to hustle, it's never going to work out, I think. So,
Absolutely. You got to put the time in. Otherwise,
yeah.
everybody will, when I tell people about different business ventures and they say, "Oh, well that sounds like a lot of work." And I go, "Well, it might be a lot of work or but it's not work. It's like the old saying, it's not work if it's something you really enjoy doing."
Right.
And
Exactly.
as like in this case, in this what the website case, I really enjoy interacting with my clients when they have questions and answering questions and being helpful and trying to do the marketing. Um, it's fun in a way for me because I can see it growing.
Right.
And I'm not only am I trying to help people, I'm trying to get my son's life a little bit in order, but I'm helping people, and so it's for me, like a triple win.
Okay.
Even to the point where now I'm starting to kind of look for like either an investor or a partner who can
Oh,
maybe
wow.
help take our website even further. I was reading about cemetery plots, and according to the article, there are over 1 million plots in the country that are not going to be used. And
Wow.
so
That's a
in my
large
mind,
number.
yeah, it's a big number.
Yeah.
And I would listen, if we can get half of those people to sign up with our services, we'll be
Yes.
doing good and we'll be helpful at the same time. So, we're
Yeah,
we're we're
definitely.
at that point, I think, where we're trying to find, maybe a partner or something.
Oh, that's good. So hopefully maybe one of our listeners or
Yeah, if
yeah.
if somebody out there is looking for a business venture, you could reach me on my website. There's my pitch. There's a
All
contact
right,
form.
there.
So
Nice, nice. Okay, yeah, definitely things like, you know, yeah, I definitely think it's a great idea. It's not, it's not a glamorous, it's not the sexiest business in the world, but hey, it fills a need, right? It fills a need.
And that's it. When it comes to
Yeah,
doing a business, it's the first question is there a need out there for it?
right.
That's
Exactly.
the first question I always ask myself, when I think of a new product or something. Well, do people need that? Or I think Apple is the only company that invented something that people didn't realize they didn't need and buy it like crazy, right?
Right.
Nobody needs an Apple Watch,
Right.
but we
They
all want
they
one.
do not they do now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Right.
there's very few exceptions, I think, to a business out there that produces something that is not needed.
Right.
You just got to figure it out. You got to think about. So, like in your case, since you're visually impaired, I would
Yes.
think you must come across things that maybe don't exist or can be done better. And I don't know, of course. You would know better
Right.
than me, of course. But I would think that's a great avenue for you to think about. Hey, why isn't there I don't know, a so and so for the visually impaired? They need that. They could use this. So that might
Yes.
be something for you to think about as well. I mean, I know, since we both have similar thoughts as far as entrepreneurial go,
Right.
um, might be something that you come across in your livelihood that you realize, hey, that doesn't exist. That's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. I do sometimes have those ideas of, oh, this is needed and whatnot. Um, haven't really gone into like the after process after coming, after I think of an idea, because a lot of times it's just a little hopeful thinking. Um, Small things like I just want, and it's not really something I would invent. It's just like I wish websites are more accessible, right? For me, um, I hate it when people think that because there's a lot of website developers and they have those widgets, right? The widgets that they slap it on. I don't know. They paste it on the back end, and they say activate this so the website's more accessible with your screen reader, and it's like it doesn't always work. It, you can't just slap on a spoiler on a car and say, hey, it's a sports car, right?
Yeah.
Or something, right? And then no, it's like there's internal things that you need to do so it actually runs properly. And then these developers think that just to make it seem like they're doing something, they just slap on a widget and say, oh yeah, it's accessible, which is not. So I always think of I wish as in websites where there was I wish there was a one size fit all widget, but there really isn't. But I come across a lot of different things in just daily life. But sometimes it's just a one time thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Other, but
But keep it in mind because you never know. It's funny that
yes.
you should mention widgets. Let me just grab my phone because there's a company
Hmm.
that I actually recently applied for to do sales for them,
Right,
and they by the way they turned me down. So if they're listening,
right,
you're missing out. But they actually have a toolbar.
right.
They're a software company and they have a toolbar that
Okay.
is set up for people who have issues, whether they're hearing impaired or visually impaired. And I think what they do is they sell the toolbar to a company so that you have easier accessibility to their sites.
Oh
But
yes, yes.
they might do something. They might do something for individuals. And so I'm gonna do it for you, but not for them. But the company is
Right.
called Recite Me.
Recite me.
Recite Me.
Me.
Take a look at
Okay.
their website because they might offer something that might make your experience
Right.
smoother as an
Okay.
individual.
All right.
Um,
All right.
but I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. But sometimes yeah, even people that mean well, they come out with a product that's not fully like thought out, and they just want to churn it out and just make money. That's it.
And you know why?
So
Because a lot of times those people are people who they came up with the idea, but they're not in the war, right? So
yeah,
I
exactly.
always say when it comes to businesses, you have your generals and you have your foot soldiers.
Right.
And the generals come up with a plan, but they're not out on the battlefield. They don't really know what's going on.
Right.
And
That's
so a lot
true.
of companies will do that. They don't have the experience or the knowledge, so things don't usually get done properly.
That's true.
Um, you know,
Uh,
and
yeah.
like we both have autistic kids, so
Yes.
we know, when I try to create, if I try to create a product for an individual who has autism, I have a pretty good idea what their needs could be because I'm in the
Exactly.
battlefield with them all the time.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I see it. I see what the needs are, and if if you're in a position like that, then you're already ahead of the game, I think.
That's true. Yeah. If you already have some personal experience, I feel, other than someone that has no personal experience with it, and then just trying to create a product and then
Exactly.
say, "Here you guys go,
Yeah.
give me
How
some
do you like
money."
this?
Yeah. Right. And then
Right.
yeah.
But
Right. Exactly.
that that's why I said for you it would be for me to come up with a visually impaired product,
Right.
maybe it could be helpful, but you're a person who is in the thick of things. So
Exactly.
you're better suited to come up with that idea and come up with a solution. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
pushing you
feel
to,
like.
I'm pushing you to make a product.
All right. All
We're
right, all right.
gonna
That's
get
my
you there.
homework, I guess, right? My guest is giving me homework to do. Usually we're giving our audience homework to do. My guest is giving me homework. Okay. I'll
I
think
want
of
everyone to do
something.
well. That's why. I want
Right.
everybody should do well in life. Life is short
Right.
and you
That's
got to
true.
enjoy as much of it as you can.
Exactly, exactly. I agree with that too. Yes, we all got to put ourselves out there, right? Same thing with our
Absolutely.
podcast. That's actually it wasn't like an overnight idea. I know some of my friends, one of my friends kept pushing me, say, "Yeah, you should do something. Like put yourself out there." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know." And then suddenly someone introduced me to Vic, and he's really gun ho about it. And then we're like, okay, let's just do it. I mean, I think after we talked in less than a week, we just recorded our first thing. We didn't know what to use
I was
or
looking at them.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was looking at your
yeah,
past ones.
yeah. We were trying to. First one we did was with Zoom. I'm using Zoom again right now, but it was with the free version. It had 40 minutes cutoff, so we said, oh, it's sort of time restraint. So we didn't. We moved on to another, and then we tried to explore different ones that were sort of low cost, but didn't have the time restraint. One of them we landed on was waveroom.com, but they sort of didn't. I guess we recorded it last week, and then we couldn't get our video feed. We had a guest, my friend, as a guest, and then we couldn't get his video feed and audio feed. So we
Uh,
sort of lost that. And then I was trying to contact customer service, and then they didn't respond. I
oh, that's
contact,
great.
yeah, right. All these tech companies, they're great at developing product. Even Zoom, okay. Although using Zoom right now, I still have choices. Is what I'm putting out there. Is their customer service was not as great as I thought it would be, being the leader of
Hmm. The
this is
movement,
the movement, right? Because when
the
I called,
movement.
okay, yes, and I have the recording there. I asked them if I could record it. Maybe I'll do another episode where I play out the recording. But let me ask you. So I called in, right? So I did subscribe because I was trying to subscribe on my phone, which is an iPhone, and I have the Zoom app. So I subscribe using my iPhone, which you subscribe. Uh, your subscription will be placed on the Apple Store, basically, right? So,
Okay.
so they have that, but still, you're still a paid member, or a paid customer, um, that you're able to use I have the Pro, the Pro whatever, I think it's called the Pro, Zoom Pro, whatever,
Pro plan. Yeah.
the Pro plan, yeah. So I'm still categorized as a Pro plan member, and so but when you call, okay, get this, when I call and I said, hey, I need some help because there's a certain feature on this website, on the Zoom.com that I'm not getting to work right. And he said, oh, we cannot help you because your subscription is with Apple, and anything, anything technical has to go to Apple. I said, that makes no sense at all, because I
No,
can
it
understand,
doesn't.
yeah, right? I can understand. He said, oh, because your subscription is with them, you paid through them, like, like a third party. Okay, that's
It-
that's fine. I
But
can
still, your
understand that.
software, though.
Yeah, software. So this is what I list out, because I'm using, this is what I said. Well, I'm on my computer, which is a Dell computer, right? It has nothing to do with Apple,
Right?
running Microsoft Windows 10, which has nothing to do with Apple, right? And then I have a Chrome browser open, again, Google, that has nothing to do with Apple, that's on your website, zoom.com. Again, I believe that has nothing to do with Apple. So these factors, like, how can Apple even provide technical support where no device, no software, nothing is being used that was developed by Apple? And then they're
It,
like,
it
oh,
it sounds like
so
somebody who was lazy and didn't want to do their job.
yeah, exactly. So
That's what it
and
sounds
and,
like.
and also it's because uh, you can tell that it's outsourced. It's outsourced customer service, and then
Yeah.
that's the quality you get. So yeah,
That's the price we pay for cheap labor, right?
right, exactly.
My
So
neighbors always complain about that. I have older neighbors and they're always complaining that they can never understand the customer service rep or they're not helpful and
right,
it's
exactly.
um it's an American issue.
Yes, yes, definitely. So, but it's unfortunate. Like a lot is, I can understand. These big businesses have to resort to this, but I think it's maybe just more profit margin for them. But I
Yeah.
think I think this whole new topic we're gonna go into, but it's but as a small business owner, like you and me, small business, you know, overhead is everything, cost is everything. So we don't have the money. At least I don't have the money to spend on the luxury that these big companies can spend on, right? So every
Yeah.
every dollar counts.
Yep.
Even in my vending business,
Absolutely.
every dollar counts. So
Yep.
if I could get labor for a dollar cheaper, unfortunately, I have to go with that, because that's just how the cookie crumbles. And
Yeah. Well, that's where you are at this point. It's
right.
but that
So
hopefully will, you guys will grow. Everyone, we all want to get bigger and we all want to become more successful and be able to afford better things for our,
exactly,
businesses.
exactly. Well, yeah, for me, I just want to provide better for my family, or for my son.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what being a good dad is, right?
exactly. Yes,
That's what being a good dad is giving
yes,
giving your family what you can give them. It's more than you had and more than they currently have.
right, exactly. Yeah. So just like your son, any uh, I think you're mentioning, develop this website for your son, maybe like for a backup plan. I think that's great. I'm still at the phase where I know he's still in elementary school, but I'm already, sometimes my mind wanders off to, okay, what is he going to be capable? I
Hmm.
hate to even think like that, because like growing, because it feels like you're thinking, oh, he's not adequate enough, but it's not. It's just parents worrying, right? Like
It
we're
is.
I'm thinking, like the other day, we just, his caseworker, I don't know how it is over there in New York, but over here in California, we have like they call it a regional center. They help provide services and stuff. And then I was
Hmm.
just, being a concerned parent, but it's still years ahead, off, that I'm asking, okay, so what are other services once it gets like teenage year, high school age or something? Like, is
Yeah.
there like vocational training or something? Because if he right now he can, uh, I don't know, it's a combination of when it comes to his education, like, is he not able to handle it, or he just doesn't want to do it, right?
Hmm.
Maybe it's a combination of both, but let's say he doesn't want to go to college or anything like, but he needs to learn something, a skill or a trade or something
Yeah.
to able to do something, right? And get a,
I
yeah.
everything you're saying is completely what I think is completely normal in my experiences. Mine is 21.
Mhm.
And I've worried about him starting the day after his diagnosis.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I've always, you always worry about your kids, no matter what, whether they're mainstream or not. Um,
Exactly.
but with the challenges that autism presents, it becomes tenfold. And
Yes.
I think it's totally normal to think about their futures and what they look like and try to get ahead of the curve. I think to me that's important, and that probably adds more stress in my life than I should have.
Hmm.
But to me, it's the trade-off is worth it if I can make sure that he is kind of prepared. Because
Yeah.
you don't know what their futures look like. No one knows what
Exactly.
their kids' futures look like, but a lot of people
Right.
can kind of see the direction that their child is heading and hope for the best, right? They have a good head on their
Right.
shoulders, they have common sense. My
Yes.
son is extremely smart.
That's
His
good.
social skills
Hmm.
could be better, they could be stronger, and his
Right.
common sense could be a little bit stronger as well. But he's a great person, and you just got to figure it out for them. You got to help them,
Yeah.
and
That's true. That's true.
it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth it.
Yes.
Even though,
Yes.
like I said,
Definitely.
I've gotten gray overnight, and um,
Exactly.
I'm really 21. No, I'm not 21, but
Right.
uh, you know what though? They're your kids, and I think that
They
that's
are.
my belief is that's your job. Your job is to raise a good individual to walk this earth and hopefully make a positive impact.
That's true. Yes. Yes. I think so
So
too. Yes. Yes. Yeah. For me, the same. I just want. I can't control what happens in the future. I mean, I barely can control what happens to me in my future, right?
I say it all the time. I barely remember putting my pants on this morning.
Right? I mean, I remember all those things like when I was 20, I would say, "Oh yeah, I was gonna do this by the age now I'm 42, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be by the time I'm supposed to be fully retired by 45. I'm sort of
Oh,
nowhere
that'd be
near it,
great.
right? That was sort actually right. I gave myself extra 5 years. It was I was hoping for 40, but and then I moved it back a little in my when I was in my 30s to 45, but I think I have to move it back a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
you sometimes life takes you down roads you don't expect, and
yes,
when you got
exactly.
to make adjustments.
Yes, yes. So I
That's what it's
think yeah,
about.
and then I think yeah, with our kids, we're the same way. We have certain aspirations for 'em, or just wants the best for them. And then I think a lot of things, a lot of our plans changed based on that. A lot of things that I think I did is because of my son. And I feel, yeah, it's a lot of stress. It can, keep you up at night or give you gray
Yeah,
hair,
yeah.
but that's just how life is, right? That's
That's it.
yeah,
That's the cards you were dealt, and
yeah,
sometimes you're not dealt a as good a hand as you hope for, and you do the best you can with what you get.
yes,
You
exactly.
get
I
what
think
you
that
get, and you don't get upset, right?
right, exactly. I think, yeah, definitely. I like what you're saying. I think that's would be heading into our nugget of wisdom section. Is we always like to end the show with a positive thought. I think you're starting us off with that. I think what for us, as entrepreneurs, as fathers, we can only control so much. I feel that but like you said in the beginning, you got to always try. Just like how you taught your son. I like it that you're telling your son, hey, if you just put your mind to it, you could accomplish a lot.
Hmm.
Just like when you did your children's book, just to prove that, hey, just show him by example. I love showing people by example, right? Showing
Hmm.
your son by example, hey, if you really want to, you can do it. So I think that's a good message for not just for our kids, but for everyone. If you really want to do
Absolutely.
it, right? just put your mind to it, and you could really achieve that. It might
Yeah,
not be the uh, perfect product, right? It might not be the perfect product, but hey, it might it might at least land you close to where you need to be, right? So
exactly.
yeah,
And it might lead you down a path you never saw.
yeah, exactly.
You
Yes,
never know.
exactly. Yeah. So I agree. I definitely agree. Any other nugget of wisdom you want to leave for our audience?
No, I think that's good enough.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel uh, everyone like hopefully definitely I enjoyed you being on the show today. Definitely love your insight, your background, your history, um, your ideas when it comes to parenting. Definitely would love to have you on again, and then hopefully Vic could be on as well because I definitely
Okay.
think he would love to have a conversation with you as well. But again, thank you again for today. I'd like to thank all of our audience today. Please visit Jeff's website and and please share our episode so everyone can learn about his website. Hear the story of Jeff. Please subscribe, and everyone, hope to see you on the next episode. Thank you again.
Great. Thank you, Reynold. Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you.